Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Well, it all started like 15 years ago when I decided to buy the cheapest office chair available at Staples, and it ended with me getting a fancy M6 Ultra black gaming chair from AutoFull. I mean, I figured I was due for an upgrade. But anyway, let's unpause this video so we can review my fancy new office chair. I kind of don't want to unpause it because I know what happens next. Gee! Ow! The hell? Son of a... So obviously I needed a new chair. I scrapped the production of my Pal Kitty video, but don't worry, it'll be out soon. And I went into full obsessive research mode for a new chair. You ever do that? Where you just can't fixate on anything else? Soon enough, I found AutoFull. Now they don't sell car parts, they sell chairs. And they have consistently good reviews on their website, on Amazon, and on a bunch of other websites that I trust, like Tom's Reviews. Now I have a sedentary day job, and then I do videos in my basement for another couple hours on top of that after the kids go to bed. So my chiropractor hates me. Well, I guess maybe he loves me because I have to keep coming back every month and paying him, but whatever. The point is that my back isn't getting any younger, and I'm probably not going to start doing my reviews standing up, so I figured I'd splurge a little bit and get a fancy lad chair with all the bells and whistles. My butt's going to be in it a couple hours a day, 5 days a week, so I figure it'll pay off in the long run, right? Enough about that. Let's watch me build this thing super sped up with some light elevator music, huh? That's pretty deluxe. Now it's pretty easy to do with the little wrench kit they gave you. If you have a hex wrench set yourself, maybe a ratcheting one, it'll speed up the process, but otherwise it was pretty easy. A lot of what I had problems with was because I was stupid and also tired. I did this in the middle of the night. In the grand scheme of things that I've assembled as a dad, this ranks as relatively easy. And there we go, completed. Now AutoFull actually has a chiropractor on their team, and the chairs are designed for maximum ergonomics. This Ultra model has a neck rest, a sturdy frame, super adjustable armrests, and best of all, a massaging lumbar support. Now this thing isn't a replacement for standing up for a couple minutes every hour, but man, it helps out when you're grinding and focused. I have a couple of those massager heater pad things you can strap to a chair. I feel like you just accumulate them as gifts once you hit 40, and they're okay. But I mean, this built-in massager function is the cat's ass. I mean, it really revitalizes my low and my mid-back after I'm hunching over for an hour trying to disassemble a handheld or something. It's a really, really solid feature, and it's something you're not going to get in your $120 Staples model. I'm also not as slim as I like. I'm the X-Fat format of reviewers, I guess. But it's not a problem for this chair because it'll hold up to 400 pounds. And if you get sweaty, because you're X-Fat, it also has AC in the seat to make sure you don't get swampy back. Check out the airflow here. You can see this paper just floating around on my seat. And that's a lot of breeziness in your seat. Cools you off a little bit. Conversely, it also has a heated seat function. Now, since I live in Ohio and it's the spring, I got to test both of these features. Because it was 75 degrees and kind of stuffy in here the other day, and the butt air conditioning was a treat. And then we were punished for fake spring with freezing rain and a balming 30 degrees. And when the basement's real cold, that heated seat really helps. And I don't normally like heated seats. Kind of makes me feel like I had a terrible reversal of fortune in my drawers, if you know what I mean. But this heated seat doesn't give off those vibes. It's not like a wet heat. It's warm and dry in your pants when it's cold and sleety outside. And who doesn't like when their pants are warm and dry? The chair also reclines 160 degrees, and it has a footrest and that neck pillow. You could nap in it. I don't have that much space behind my desk, and even if I did, My wife might make me quit YouTube if I started sleeping in my nerd studio, but it is pretty handy if you find yourself in a situation where you'd need to catch a quick cat nap. This would actually be pretty great if you had this at your office and you were in crunch time on a project and you needed to work overnight or something. You could just sleep in your heated leather chair instead of a busted up futon in the lobby. How about that? The massager also works while you're in laydown mode, so you could take a quick little break in between your tasks and get your back loose and limber. The armrests are really cool too, and I've never seen these before on a chair. Now maybe it's just my inexperience with chair, but they're relatively novel to me because they can pivot in pretty much every direction. Gone are the days of too tall, kind of where you want it to be, or way too low. No, these things can be dialed in to the exact height you want, and they can also rotate and pivot. Check this out. Maybe you got an x86 emulation beast, and it plays games for consoles that don't even exist yet. But it's also kind of heavy, because it's a gaming laptop crammed into an 8-inch horizontal Game Boy. Well, sir, check this out. There's only really one issue I was worried about going in, and it's the cord. Now, with a massager and a heater and a cooler, you obviously need power. So here's the cord. It's a basic USB-A cord that doesn't draw a ton of power, but I was still kind of worried I was going to roll over it and break it if I had it plugged into a wall wart. However, on a lark, I tried one of the dozen or so power banks I have in my office, and holy crap, it works off one of these. So if you're clumsy like me and you still want the fan to work, throw one of these in your little back pouch here and no cords. Pretty sweet. Another minor thing I started to notice is those armrests that I was real jazzed about. They're almost too adjustable. You can independently adjust each one on pretty much every axis, which is cool because you can find an ideal setting. But you can also then knock them out of your ideal setting kind of easily by bumping them with your elbow. I wish there was a way to just lock the settings in, hard lock them in. But if you're not a clumsy oaf like me, maybe you won't knock the arms around all the time. Otherwise, I honestly have no notes. This thing is amazing. And it should be, because it's pricey, because it costs $600. So yeah, price. That's the big elephant in the room, huh? This model is $599. Now these go on sale sometimes on the Amazon or the AutoFull website, but even then, it is a pricey boy. And as someone who used and suffered through the bottom of the barrel staples chair for years and years, honestly, this might be one of those things that's worth it. I'd rather pay a premium now to avoid back issues or leg pain down the road because I cheaped out. Now, my dad always told me never cheap out on tires or brakes. And that's good advice because those two things keep you alive while you're driving. But you know what? I'm going to throw on office chairs to that list as my 21st century edition. Just because, none of us are really ever going to escape our desks. And God knows we're not standing up and doing stretches or toe lifts like we're supposed to. But we can spend a little bit more on a chair with proper supports to mitigate a lot of the negative effects of living half our lives behind a desk. Well, Gary, it's time for What Did We Learn? And we learned that the AutoFull M6 Ultra is a super high-end, super cool, literally because it's got air conditioning, a super cool premium office and gaming chair. It's also super pricey, but you get what you pay for. A $75 to $100 chair from an office supply box store is going to be trash, and even something like a Marcus from IKEA is around $300. So for only $200 more, you're getting something that's way more premium, and it's going to last a long time, and it'll help your back health with all the support and massage features. If you're on a budget, you don't want to spend $600 on a chair, AutoFull has a bunch of other tiers down from the Ultra version. But if you got the money, or maybe even like a budget from work for home office equipment, no, I'm not suggesting fraud, but I am suggesting maybe you use it all on this chair. I would strongly recommend throwing some of that money towards this M6 Ultra. It's really comfortable. Just by using it for like 2 weeks now, I can see a significant difference in my posture while I'm at my desk, and my back health is a little bit better. It's not as sore as I normally am sitting down here grinding away at content. And the chair is sturdy, it's premium, it's just awesome. If you think this video, or me, is sturdy and premium, then remember to like and subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye! And by the way, that V20 video is coming. And I really did fall out of my chair, and I scraped my back on one of the legs, and I swore real loud. Okay, bye!